So today is Groundhog Day, 2022. They've been forecasting this cold weather for a few days. And over the last 24 hours, they've pushed it forward and back, so it got here. I'm not much of a cold weather person. Spent some time up in the Pacific Northwest and pretty much saw enough snow to last a lifetime. Visited some snowy places, Mount Hood, Mount Baker. Pretty cool places. That was a lot of snow. I remember a couple of years when it would snow, 1.5, 2 foot, and I would take my little Volkswagen Beetle that was lowered and had a nice little rake to it and everything, so the back end was up a little bit, the front was really super low, and I would just snow plow everywhere I went. And the great thing about that is that these people in their big four-wheel drive vehicles would follow behind me. It was easier for them. But I do miss those little Beetles. I do still have one. One day I'm hoping to get back to work on it and get it running. Turn it into the little rat rod that I have envisioned for it. But right now, I want to talk about the weather a little bit. As I said, I'm not much of a cold weather person, don't really care for it, but I do have this affinity for the one little bit of snow that we get out here every year. And when I say a little bit, it's very little right now. It just started maybe an hour ago. And I like to go out and walk in it, see how it feels. It's a little bit windy, so y'all probably hear the wind noise. I don't have my little microphone muffs, both of them on, but yeah, I just decided to walk from the house instead of driving somewhere else out on the ranch, which I would normally do, drive somewhere, walk somewhere else. But so I'm right here across the road. There's the house, and right here across the road is one of the water troughs for the cattle. Cattle are in north pasture over here. This is the south pasture, but this is the little playa that is across the road from the house. When we first moved here, they were at the end of a 4-year drought. They had gotten less than 20 inches of rain in that 4-year period. It was horrible. Everything was just dead and dry, and just horrible. So when we moved here, that ended. We started getting some rain, and that first year that we were here, we got about almost 30 inches of rain. And this playa filled up with water, and the amphibious animals that have been buried in the ground excavating for God knows how many years all came out, and they made this beautiful, beautiful noise that I'd never heard before, and I haven't heard since. Now, you see all the game trails through here behind me. You generally can't see those, but when it snows, they stand out. This is all from rats, rabbits, and coyote. And when the cattle are in this pasture, they create their own trails that are a lot straighter than the animal trails. Oh, and the javelina. The javelina come through here quite often also. So yeah, I just thought I would come out here for a walk, bring y'all along, let y'all see a little bit, and hope y'all enjoy some of the beauty that is the ugliness of West Texas. So here, just have a few shots and enjoy. And strangely enough, if any of y'all that know me know that I have this weird obsession with wild animal scat, take pictures of it, post it online. So here for the channel is the very first issue. We have some coyote scat. Probably from last night. So as I walk along, y'all might get some more pictures if I see something interesting. All right, so sometimes our dogs will chase rabbits and hares out here, and if they get to one that gets down in its burrow, they'll dig until they get as far as they need to. Now sometimes we'll find these holes dug out a little deeper. Generally that's where coyote will dig a little bit to get in out of the cold. This is one of those that it looks like it hasn't been used in a while, but it goes down a ways, and it's just funny how opportunistic wildlife can be to help them survive. It's an amazing thing to see and to figure out what they're doing and what they've got going on. Don't know if y'all saw that. That jackrabbit. But it was hiding back over here. Hiding in that little tree, and it took off. Oh, there goes another one right there. That one was hiding right there, 5 feet away from me. Now when they take off, they skitter around back and forth, and that's the kind of prints they leave when they're running scared. But that's where they bed down. So this is another thing I find out here quite often. Back in the 80s and before, oil companies would come through, lay out their location wherever they needed to, drill what they needed to, what they could. This was older technology. And then when they would leave quite a bit of trash. Pipes. That over there was a belt that ran one of the pump jacks, I'm sure. There's a lot of different new technology now that prevents them from using a lot of that type of equipment. So there's less trash left over when they leave. They also would just leave a location as it sat, which leaves areas like this where nothing grows for decades. And then they don't come here anymore. They don't need this land, but it's covered in caliche that nothing will grow on. Now, more modern times now, the agreements with the ranchers don't allow for this type of behavior. They clean up. They take away all the caliche and leave nothing but topsoil, so natural grasses can grow for the cattle that come afterward. Now, where they run these pipes everywhere for transporting, there's got to be valves that they put above ground. So you'll be walking along and you'll come across something like this. So there's no telling I don't think this is an active pipe, but there's no telling how far off in that direction it goes. And pretty simple little faucets and stuff that they used. And it probably stopped at that location, and it was just used to pump from that location. There's probably, if you follow this in a straight line, there's probably a tank battery. You know, it could be this one right over here. There's a couple of them you can see right over here that you know, it might have gone to those locations. Don't know. But yeah, I think I've about reached my limit of cold. I'm gonna walk back around this way and make my way back over towards the house. Right. Thank you all for coming along on this little walk with me, listening to me talk, letting me just say things. I hope you enjoyed this nice mellow little segment, and as always, live your life with respect, peace, and love.